There have been many texture updates in Minecraft, and I'm going to be covering all the ones that have been changed, forgotten, or lost with time. The Warden has been here since 1.19, and I think we all agree how scary the texture model is, but what if I told you the original design was even worse? This was the original Warden skin. Yeah, I know, not child-friendly at all. It was changed very quickly, but there were also two other versions of the Warden. Originally named the Stalker, this looked a bit like the Siren Head. It got an animation and a texture change, but it didn't look terrifying or like a Minecraft mob at all, so we eventually got the Warden. Emeralds are the main currency of Minecraft. Before emeralds though, Mojang had initially planned to release rubies to replace emeralds. The ruby texture was first released on May the 21st, 2012, when Jeb released a screenshot. Version 1.3.1 is when this ruby texture could be found in the game files, with it a ruby ore texture too. However, this was accidentally released in a snapshot and could have been found naturally in the game. It unfortunately dropped emeralds though. Striders haven't really changed too much since they were released in the Nether update, but the Strider was supposed to be more of a big fish rather than big whatever it is. I can prove it to you by showing you the old texture files of the Strider. Right there, that is supposed to be a fin. This never showed in the game and was eventually removed anyway. It's cool to think we could have been riding a giant Netherfish. This is a special mention. Prismarine has had one texture change that does change how it looks, but the reason I'm bringing this up is, did you know that Prismarine is animated? Here it is sped up 10 times as fast, and as you can see it changes colour. I thought this was a really cool thing, and so it deserves a special mention. The beacon has undergone many texture changes, and I'm excited to show you them. The work in progress beacon was a transparent block with a blue border, and was fully functional with a work in progress beam. We then got this fully animated beacon, and I'm not gonna lie, I want this more than the beacon we have. Controversial opinion, I know. The beam has not changed with this texture update though. The beacon then got changed to a more decorated version of the beacon first introduced, with a whole new beam created for it. And finally, we got the texture used today with the beam used today. This was slightly updated when the glass got a new texture. I made a tier list of the beacon textures. This is correct and you're wrong if you think otherwise. The tier list link is in the description. Add me on Twitter with your tier list so I can correct you. The Nautilus shell is a really weird item in my opinion. It just seems like an item Mojang added because of a dare. Hey bro, $10 you had the Nautilus shell. $10? I would have done it for 5. Anyway, in the Bedrock version of Minecraft, the Nautilus shell actually used to look like this. In Java, it hasn't changed since being added in the version 1.13. No idea why Bedrock got a different texture and Java didn't, but oh well. Remember how we built chairs using a stair and 2 signs? Well, at least in the most basic. This was actually going to be implemented in Minecraft as an actual chair texture. Mojang had ideas of adding furniture since the earliest days of Minecraft, but ultimately decided against it as they wanted players to use their creativity and their freedom to create furniture themselves. I've talked about fish barrels before in my 40 facts video, but to sum up, Mojang actually put fish in a barrel, guys. They did it. Well, at least in Bedrock. At this point, I'm inclined to believe that Bedrock Edition got all the good textures. Anyway, the fish barrel texture was designed to be the item to make villagers into fishermen. It was inevitably unused and has not seen the light of day since. At the time of making this, we have leather, chainmail, iron, gold, diamond and netherite armor, with trimmed armor coming in 1.20. Something you might not know is studded armor. Studded armor was added as a mix between leather and chainmail armor and existed in the items.png until it was removed sometime between the 4th and the 6th of February 2010. Before the Ender Dragon was added, Mojang was working on a new dimension, ultimately becoming the End Dimension. Whilst we're familiar with Endstone texture today, Mojang originally was going to use white cobblestone as the block for it. This was initially named Whitestone in the terrain.png for terrain generation. It was scrapped quickly and we got the Endstone used in the End Dimension today. The Dragon Egg texture has not been touched since first being implemented in version 1.0.0. So why am I bringing this up? Well, there are technically 2 textures for the Dragon Egg and the Falling Dragon Egg, aka when it falls. The Falling Dragon Egg is like young me, changing personalities every 4 seconds. It was first rendered as lava when falling, but Mojang was on it and changed it back to the Dragon Egg when falling. Then they did it, boys. It was changed to a block model when falling, which is just the Dragon Egg texture on a block, before finally getting the act together and fixing it once and for all back to the Dragon Egg. Jeez. The block of gold has been changed far too many times, so let me show you the most interesting change. Before Alpha, before even the InfDev version, the block of gold looked like off cheese. Why is the bottom orange? This was changed in the Alpha edition, and the texture we have today is by far the nicest texture we have of the block. I have arachnophobia. I hate spiders so much. The spiders in Minecraft though don't really show off their real life counterpart, so I don't find them spooky. Now let me show you the original texture. Now, if this were in the game, I would have probably I've never played Minecraft. This texture did not last though, and was purely for development purposes, and never actually got added. Hopefully. What does everything in Minecraft have in common? They're all made from boxes, squares, rectangles, however you want to put it. Now look at these. You see a problem? Beast Boy and Rana were added for development purposes, but a part of me thinks that Mojang might have wanted the mobs to look a little more realistic. Glass has changed so much ever since it was first implemented, and trust me, you'll be happy with what you have now. The first ever glass texture was barely see-through, like, look at all this mess in the way. It was changed to the glass many of us grew up with. There were no changes until version 1.14, where it was changed to the glass we all use today. The block of coal is the second best smelting item in the game for fuel. It has had a couple of texture changes. The first implementation of the item was an April Fool's item in version 2.0. It was just a black redstone block that couldn't even be used for fuel. It got another texture change in version 1.6.1 before finally getting the final texture in version 1.14, and most likely won't change anytime soon. Feathers have been in the game since version 0.31 InfDev and have largely remained untouched. Initially, it looked like a triangle, and this is a game about blocks, so Mojang updated this to a question on your math homework with a little angle at the top. This didn't change until version 1.14, where it was changed into such a beautiful texture. Zombified piglins used to be called zombie pigmen before being renamed and retextured. Before zombie pigmen were added into the game, a preview of what they might look like was shown, and holy mother of why does this look so terrifying? This was only a preview though, and was changed shortly after. Something I want to mention is the Pocket Edition version of Minecraft, which used... I don't know what is more terrifying actually. Parrots are funky. They dance when music is being played to them, and these guys have more moves than I could ever imagine myself having. But notice something about them when they dance? Like the fact none of them change colour? Yes. Parrots used to change through all the parrot textures when they danced. Honestly, this should have stayed. Excuse me? What in the heck is this? This is completely unacceptable for a game about building blocks. But hear me out. Look how funky they look. No, remove it. Oh yeah, before I end the vid, did you know that Minecraft added bleach into the game? I think it's edible.